Welcome to the set of TNT's The Closer. Right now, the cast and crew are busy shooting their 75th episode. Can you believe it's been 5 seasons since Brenda Lee Johnson joined the LAPD?
Lieutenant Provenza.
Yes, ma'am.
I need this hurried through SID in about 2 shakes of a lamb's tail. Thank you so very much. Let's keep it taped off, ladies and gentlemen, because until we understand things better.
This is a crime scene, y'all.
Hi, I'm Laurel Ripley, and tonight you're in for a very special treat. Recently, the stars of The Closer invited us to their set where they shared some of their favorite memories from the first 5 seasons.
Video mark.
And action.
You seem to have a lot of good fun together on the set. What's the best part about coming to work every day?
I would absolutely say it's seeing all the friendly faces, all the people that, have become like family for the last 6 years. And that includes this amazing cast as well as the crew. I think that it's really about, never knowing what everyone's going to bring to the table when we're working on a scene, and that's always really fun.
Guys, let's rehearse. This is scenes 3, 4, and 5.
Do you guys have a favorite moment from these first 5 seasons? I know that's a huge request. Fans have written in, they said time bomb, they said wedding, and they of course said the Skybox episode.
Dodgers, Giants. Perez versus Schmidt. Skybox tickets. And we're late because you drive the only car they ever stole in Mexico and brought here to sell.
GW, do you have a favorite episode?
Yeah, I have a favorite moment, I think, and that was actually the pilot, when the chief was standing there in front, and Tao had found a picture of her at some demonstration, and it was for the liberation of Doodah Doodah.
That's right.
She said, "Does everyone understand what that is?" And everyone nodded except Provenza, and he raised his hand.
In 1991, she shot a security guard outside a pharmaceutical company during an ACT UP protest. I suppose you all know what ACT UP is. Lieutenant Provenza doesn't know.
And of course, she rolls her eyes as only she can. And she said, "This means that she is a homosexual. It's a homosexual organization." And I say, "Are you telling me that she's a murderer and a lesbian?"
Oh, that's right.
And then she says, "I hope that you don't mean to be politically incorrect, or you're going to have to go to 2 weeks of
Sensitivity training.
Sensitivity training." And I have one of the greatest lines I've ever had anywhere in my life, and it's one word. And I said, "Again?"
That's right. That was
The
great.
whole character was established. The rest of it has just been gravy. Easy to play once you know that's who you're playing.
You guys all, it just clicks. And where was that moment during that first season where you knew you had something special?
It's easy. GW and I were watching the pilot, and normally you can say, "Oh, this is a winning show. It's going to be because you're trying to be positive." But at the end of the pilot, there's a scene in which Kira is in the hotel room, and she's finally alone with her chocolate, and she gets on the bed, and she has this, and the two of us looked at each other, and said, "This is a winner."
No, I think you said, "I've never wanted to be a ding-dong so bad in my life."
I think that's the story I remember.
Which translates as, "This is a winner."
Yeah, it translates.
Well, the fans do have a question about that. Do you have a sweet tooth yourself?
Oh, yeah.
What is your favorite?
Chocolate.
Chocolate.
Yeah, anything chocolate.
What does everyone else like to indulge in? What does craft services have to, stock up on?
Carrots. Anything with dark chocolate. Dark chocolate.
You can look at JK and see that he loves carrots and...
He's a big on the crudité complexion. It's the crudité.
Well, one of your all's fans, Abby, wants to know how long it takes you guys to shoot every day and how that has changed since the pilot season.
It is about 7.5 days an episode, sometimes 8. We fluctuate between 7.5 and 8. And when we first started, it was 7 and 7.5. So some shows were 7 days and some shows were 7.5 days. And that's a lot of show to cram in there.
Without sounding like too much of a suck-up, there's only one person really sitting up here that affects on a regular basis, and that's her. She
What a
works.
sucker.
I know.
Okay, I don't
I
mind.
knew the second I
What a
said it.
sucker.
I don't mind.
But
it's true.
I mean, she's
I'm
the
a
one.
martyr.
This guy even mentioning 12 hours a day. It's the
Listen, if you can't capture the magic in one day, then, you know, it's not going to happen. You know what I'm saying? So, that's what I say. I'm actually very fortunate because we just have all our drama at home. And all the time is really decided by the locations, usually. So if I've got 3 scenes and it's all in the bungalow set, then we shoot the bungalow one day and we shoot all the scenes in that set. Unlike Corey here, who you're pretty much here every day.
Joyfully.
Because you just follow her around everywhere.
Up next, the cast recalls the greatness of Babs and their most moving storylines.
Lieutenant, what just happened?
The explosives on Melbourne were unstable, so they had to be bipped. Blown in place.
So where's my victim?
My guess is he's probably all over the ceiling.
Some of the fans did write in about Babs. What was it like playing the scene with the robot?
Fantastic. Finally, someone who knew their lines. It was great. It was really funny. I mean, it's, it was so silly. And, of course, Brenda is like, thinks she has no fear about it. She doesn't like the creature, and then all of a sudden, the creature is going to save her life.
Help me.
Actually, Babs got hurt on set, didn't she? She fell down the stairs.
She did. It was so bad. She got broken, and we had to get a new. And Mike Robin, he was so upset because someone had loaned him from Nassau this thing. From Nassau, right?
NASA.
Not too far from Nassau.
Not too far. That's right. It came right from the Bahamas. He was not a cabana boy.
She was very expensive, though.
This was like a prototype, too. And I think the thing was worth like $500,000.
Yes,
it was
something
a
like
crazy
that.
expensive
managed
robot.
to destroy it.
And
Backwards down the stairs.
the handler came and he was like, he knew every little wire and showed this stuff. We remember they were shooting a scene where he was supposed to go up the stairs, and everybody was like, wow, that's amazing. It goes up, and all of a sudden it goes up and up, and then it goes, and you see the look on the guy who's got all the knobs. He's like, oh no.
Was there any kind of anticipation in signing on to be TNT's first drama?
JK has a good story about that. You'd done a show with James.
I had done a show with James.
He said to you, would you like to do this part? Will you read the script? And you said, I don't even need to read it. Yes, I'll do it.
That's true.
Which
That
is
true.
just
Because I worked
amazing.
with James and Mike and Greer. So when he talked about the concept for this show and would I like to read the script, I said I don't have to.
So when you're in hands like Michael and Greer and James,
Yes.
you feel very confident when you open the script.
Yeah, absolutely. Or before you open the script.
Or before.
Yeah.
Well, and when you sign on to a pilot, you only have one script to judge it on, but you have to judge it on the people.
Yeah,
because-
it's a leap of faith. It's a huge leap of faith, but a lot of these guys knew them before. I mean, they worked with them. Yeah.
So which storyline has touched you the most?
Boy, that's really hard. Ruby. I think Ruby was one of the most moving ones. It's this missing little girl, and it's Gabriel's fixated on it. I mean, we all are, but he's really taking it incredibly personally. And at the end of the first act, it ends with us searching through Griffith Park and coming upon this, dead bodies. It was very moving for me. I thought it was very moving.
For me, it was season 1 Fantasy Date. It was an episode directly out of Gil Garcetti's file, he comes in with some incredible stories. But it was a boyfriend who had broken up with his girlfriend, and he put her name on a website and said that she was into sadomasochistic sex and put a key under the door, and a guy looked at the site, came in, raped her, and she ended up trying to fight, and she ended up getting killed. And the line that the boyfriend said at the end after the interrogation was, it was just supposed to be rape. And just the fact that there was a large element of truth to that story, to me, I thought was truly, really powerful.
I will say very quickly, at the end of when Raymond's brother was shot, he had held in all of his emotions until the very last moment. And he ended up collapsing, and of all arms, Provenz's.
Oh,
sorry, Oscar. I'm sorry.
And then we looked in the window, and she was watching.
Yeah.
You know, I saw her watching, and she was wise enough as a character not to interfere with this moment. It was, for me, as an actor, it was Raymond was extraordinarily powerful, and it was a great moment.
I tell you, everyone has had great moments. I mean, that's really a great thing about the writing.
I say hail to the chief.
Chief!
Cheers.
Salute.
Up next, more from Commander Taylor, Lieutenant Tao, and Lieutenant Flynn when the Closer 5-season celebration special continues.
Lieutenant Tao, can you have the diamonds removed from this necklace, please, and have them ID'd? I need to find out where they were bought.
Sure. There's a local office of the International Gemological Institute here in L.A. Not only will you find out what store this was sold,
Thank you
probably
so
the
much, Lieutenant. That's great. That's great.
Michael, you're sitting back there. Fans want to know, your character is the tech guru. Are you in real life?
Yeah, absolutely.
It's very impressive you can memorize all those lines.
If you're techie, I'd be asking for your help with
No,
more
I'm not
stuff.
a techie at all.
Does anybody have any favorite moments?
I remember my first scene with Brenda Lee Johnson, or Kira anyway. I was translating some Spanish from a couple of our interviewees.
Abogado.
Yes, abogado. She said, did they just say avocado? I said, no, it's abogado, which is Spanish for lawyer.
You speak Spanish?
My stepfather's from Mexico. Abogado.
Yes.
Did he just say avocado?
No. Abogado.
What does that mean?
Attorney.
I have a favorite Sanchez moment.
All right.
I loved it when the killer comes around the corner in the squad room, and all of a sudden there's Raymond.
Stop right there. Sorry about this, Provenza. Hey, Marty.
In the 5 seasons, your characters' lives have changed, definitely. But which character do you think has changed the most?
Wow.
That's a toughie.
You started off as a woman. I mean, you were doing that very feminine.
You remember that?
You know, it's just, I would really hate to see you get blown up by a pipe bomb, just as I've gotten used to you.
Well, I so appreciate the sentiment.
Yeah.
But, yeah, I think Taylor has changed in terms of his appreciation for Brenda.
I was going to say, Flynn, you and Brenda didn't really get along first either.
Well, the first year we were sort of adversaries.
I beg your pardon, ma'am, but we were assigned this case by Captain Taylor.
Look, since you're getting emotional about this, why don't we
I don't get emotional. I am damned angry.
I hate to pull rank on my very first week, but I think it would be best if you handed your notes over to Sergeant Gabriel here, took a deep breath, and went on back to your car.
We had some,
The toothpick.
the toothpick years. And you know, we had some great moments, but my great moment in the first year was when at the end when she says to me, you know, everybody else has got some particular thing about me, you know, like, you know, what can you say about me?
Lieutenant Flynn, your resignation surprises me most of all. The whole time I've been here, you've never said one complimentary thing about or to me.
Chief, you have really great legs.
Which she does.
Oh, no, I don't. Never mind. Let's move on to the next question.
Well, I really appreciate the fact that we were just talking about this. Right now, we're filming our 75th episode. And I was like, can you imagine going to see a 75-hour movie?
Yeah.
That's a lot of time.
Yeah.
But, you know, when you think about it in terms of, say, you know, Brenda and Fritz's relationship, to actually have 75 hours to develop this relationship. The first thing we ever shot, actually, the first scene that we shot of The Closer was our scene, the Brenda Fritz scene in the pilot.
Yeah.
And to go from this meeting an old friend again to this courtship to getting engaged to getting married to, you know, getting cats, all that sort of stuff. I mean, to really take the time to develop a relationship like that is, you know, that doesn't happen very often. It doesn't happen in, you know, in movies or anything.
Yeah.
So it's kind of a cool thing to explore.
So, you okay being on your own?
Yeah. And thanks for last night. I guess I sort of felt like I needed someone there.
Being needed. That's the next best thing to being wanted, isn't it?
Yeah.
Coming up, a one-on-one interview with Kira Sedgwick, where she shares her love of Kitty, family, and Fritz, when the Closer 5-season celebration special continues.
charge.
Talk to the lady.
Deputy Chief Brenda Lee Johnson, I'll be with you in a minute, sir. Go on.
So tell us what initially drew you to the character of Brenda Lee Johnson.
I loved her contradictions. I loved that she seemed so able in her work life and so lost in her personal life. You know, she's just a bundle of contradiction. She can be so fierce and so tough and so hard, and yet she can be so fragile and so lost and so vulnerable. And I really like that.
Do you think the two of you could look for my purse? It's big and it's black.
Trust us, Chief. We know what your purse looks like.
Okay, thank you.
The fans always write in about Brenda's look.
Uh-huh.
Whether it's the floral skirts or the handbag or her hair. Do you have a favorite Brenda look or style?
You know, there's the classic Brenda, which is the sweater set and then the flowy skirt and the shoes, usually flats. And then there's the sort of the newer version in the past 2 or 3 years, which is the vintage suits, which I think are great because they bring in a lot of history. They're actually old suits that have been recut. She very much stays true to her own style and to who she is, that thick accent and the prom hair, and you know, it's just fantastic. I just love that about her. I love that she doesn't change that much. I think that's cool.
So what characteristics of Brenda do you also see in yourself?
Well, I think that I can be really scattered, and I mean, I lose everything. You know, if you talk to anybody on the set, they're always like, Kira lost her phone, Kira lost her keys, and Kira can't find her head, and Kira can't find her shoes, and so I can relate to that. I think there's always a million things going on in her head, and I think that there's always a million things that she's juggling emotionally. I can relate to that a lot, and I think that she's compelled to follow truth. It's a driving force in my life. I think it's a driving force in her life, too.
So I take it as a personal favor if you give this case all the energy you give to your high-profile victims.
I give all my energy to all my cases. That's my job.
Do you have a favorite confession moment from the show?
I love when the scenes start out slow and quiet and you don't know where she's gonna go.
We've been in here half an hour. Ain't you gonna ask me anything?
Will, you're not gonna tell me anything, are you, Pookie?
Nope.
Okie dokie.
And she is drawing them out, and then she turns, and you know, they say something stupid, and then she goes in for the kill. That's my favorite, you know, and when they build like that, they're the most compelling.
If I were to find out that you'd written all that out for Kendall so that she could help Carl make his testimony more believable, why, that would be as good as a confession.
I said go to hell.
You first.
At first, Brenda was not well received at the LAPD. So what did Brenda do to gain the respect of her squad?
Ultimately, I think they really think she's good at her job. She's a good leader. She's gives clear direction, which I always think is good. And I think she cares. I mean, she proved to them that, you know, she wasn't a liar and she wasn't a fake. And also she looks out for them. I mean, she's an incredible mother hen in so many ways. You know, for someone who really doesn't want to have children, she's really maternal with them. And I think that, you know, when the chips are down, she'll always show up for them in a really major way.
Since when do you allow Flynn and Provenza to walk off the streets and try to take over crime scenes?
First off, Will, you yell at me when I don't delegate authority, and then you yell at me when I do. Where are Provenza and Flynn?
You guys have had many wonderful guest stars. Do you have any favorites?
I love Brenda's parents, Frances Sternhagen and Barry Corbin. They're amazing.
I'd best get on home. Besides, this gives Fritz a chance to move his stuff in from that tacky U-Haul.
I think it's really important that you see someone's personal life.
In fact, why don't you go out now and get yourself a clean pair of pants?
And I think that the relationship with Fritz has really given us the ability to see past the, you know, hard shell with Brenda and her most, you know, soft and squishy bits. And the fact that she wants so desperately to have a relationship, even though she really is not very good at it, you know, and it just makes her, you know, appealing that she's trying, but, you know, she's really kind of married to her job first.
Maybe I've been irritable about just the idea of asking you to choose between me and your career because I didn't know which one you'd pick.
What did Kitty add to Brenda's life?
Again, she has no interest in having a committed relationship with even a cat. And this is the cat that wouldn't leave. He keeps showing up, and so she feeds the damn thing. And then he goes missing, and then she's so furious. Her heart is breaking because she's got this damn cat that she never wanted in the first place.
I want to find some other way to properly honor Kitty. Like spreading her ashes around some place that was important to her.
Where? She was never allowed to go outside.
It is really sad when you lose an animal. I mean, they're a kind of heartbreak on four legs.
To you, Joe. Oh, wiki, wiki, eggs and biggie.
Up next, a little wardrobe trivia and final thoughts from the cast when the Closer 5-season celebration special continues.
Hi, Mama. I'm fine. Just everyone around here is so perfect looking, that's all.
So we spoke with Greg Lavoie, your extraordinary costume designer, earlier today, and he makes you all look fabulous. And there is definitely
a theme
to
our wardrobe,
for
yeah.
every character.
Flynn's got the greatest ties in the world.
Well, he loves his ties. It's like that. We've got a running gag. We're like, oh, you got that? Oh, you got the Lavoie tie.
Who were dressed by Lavoie today and who came in off the street.
He gave me some trivia. So I wanted to see if you guys knew who he was talking about. See if you can guess. Who hates button-down shirts?
Me.
Ooh.
Okay.
Wow.
Who wears designer suits from Fred Siegel? Whose character?
That's easy. That's me.
All right. Who wants to get rid of everything? Every season walks in and says, take it all out. I don't want any of it.
Philip.
Oh, yeah. Wow. All right, so who wore pants that were too long and too small and he did not complain at all?
Raymond?
Yeah. It was a little mix-up, right?
Oh.
You just sucked it in all day?
I just wore them.
Took one for the team.
I figured they were right.
I figured it was your leg.
And then who said, oh, this is a sad little outfit?
Me.
Nice day, everybody. Thank you very much.
Tell us about these Friday night parties, because I've been hearing rumors around the set.
You guys have parties on Friday night?
Not for Swifties.
We started when the show first started. I think that just Friday nights, people were like, "Oh gosh, you know, it's been so hard and it's so intense." I mean, anyone who's in our television knows it's a lot of work, and so it was a great thing for everyone to blow off some steam, and especially the crew and
But it's like
all of us.
it's a tailgate party.
But
The
it's-
camera truck lowers its thing
Yeah,
down.
they do. We do different themes. It was started in the beginning, right? The hair and makeup girls did a lot of themes, and we did 70s, and we did 80s. I think we did prom. Yeah, that was last year. But it's continued over the years, and usually I have to say I'm sort of the instigator. Like, please, let's do something on Friday nights, and sometimes I'm alone, but at least we're having a party.
Alone with a dancing.
All right, so tell us of any favorite moments.
I think one of the great moments for all of us, if I may say so, was at the last episode of the first season when her job was in jeopardy. We had to make a decision about what to do, and every one of us signed a pledge and sent it in to the boss, to Chief Pope, that if she goes, we go.
I don't think I'm alone on this one. Really? Resignations from every single member of her squad, effective immediately if Chief Johnson is transferred or put on leave relating to this anonymous complaint.
It was such a cool thing because James is so smart, and because the first episode was all about them handing in their resignations because she was hired, and then the end of the first year it was handing in their resignations because she might be fired.
Exactly.
And he literally they had the same shot of me walking, and he was like shot for shot, and it was super cool in that way. And there's a lot of things like that for the fans that really watch. They will note the theme and the first show to the finale and what ties them all together.
It's pretty impressive when you think back that how seamlessly those kind of developments happened. You know, to take something from everybody being antagonistic to naturally coming to this place of respect. I mean, that's a tricky thing to do.
It didn't seem unnatural at all. It
No,
seemed
it- yeah.
exactly.
It-
It had
it really-
evolved into exactly the thing we would do.
Yeah, you have a smart group of people
Yeah,
behind the show.
really.
That is for
Behind the
sure.
show.
That's for sure.
Well, and in front of the show. I
Steps.
Okay, slow down. Slow down. Hey, whoa! Yo, get it!
Wow. Looks like you can take it with you.
We could sit here and talk
Yeah,
forever,
right,
and I know the fans would love that too.
75 episodes.
70,
is a lot.
Yeah, right.
75 hours. Maybe that's how much I need with you guys.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much for joining us.
Yes, thank you.
Great stories, great characters, and great chemistry. You can see why The Closer is loved by so many viewers. We followed Brenda Lee through her first day at the LAPD.
Look, the guy's secretary gave us the car keys. No need to be a bitch about it.
Excuse me, Lieutenant, but if I like being called a bitch to my face, I'd still be married.
Through her relationship with Fritz,
I will be clear about how I feel. I love you, Brenda. I love you.
her family, her beloved kitty,
Bad kitty. Bad, 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 bad. What have you been doing?
I know you're good at your job, honey, but I don't think Kitty's gonna answer you.
but most of all, we've enjoyed watching Brenda Lee and her team as they've closed some very dramatic cases.
Put your weapon down. Do not turn around.
Look on the bright side, Chief. At least it's over.
It's not over.
It has been an amazing journey. I want to thank the cast and crew for sharing their memories of these first 5 seasons. And thank you for watching. Good night.
Well, good night.
Good night. And, good work.
Oh, thanks. Thanks.